Hello YouTube, Ronan Kazi, Hardcore, Diablo 4. So previously in the last video I did, I was lamenting why I play Ghost Recon sometimes. It's because, I get bored just doing grinding levels. Once you've gotten to the top of the game, and there's this artificial thing that some games make you do where you got to grind to get to this higher level. Once you learn the mechanics of something, and you can beat it. If you raid, it's a different animal because raids are, you understand what you're getting into. Yay, level 3. In a raid, there's a mechanics that there's crap that goes on the floor. You got to do that. There's timing, there's DPS checks, there's all these other things. Regular harder, or levels that are harder, or missions that are harder, or dungeons that are harder, it's only a scaling thing. So the only thing that happens is if you can beat it on normal, let's say they put some harder things, but once you can beat it on like Nightmare. So in Diablo 4, how you determine how hard the dungeon is how many levels it is above you. And that's really all it takes. Between 4 and 6, you can do relatively easy. Anything higher is tough. And I think I showed you a video where we did one where it's like 15 levels higher. We just couldn't beat it. There's no way. So I got a bunch of, here I am, level 4. I have a bunch of different clips of me and my hardcore character. There's only one time going up to level 11, I think I get to in this run, where I almost die because I'm not paying attention. And I'm on tier 1, so I'm on the easiest tier. I'm just trying to get the feel of the character. There's no point in me. The point is you can never make a mistake. You can never die. So I'd probably run this to the capstone, the first capstone. If you get to level 60 or something like that on hardcore. Because there's no point to grind an extra 100 years, grinding an extra 40 levels when you're doing that. And so what things, I've talked about this quite a bit, that there's things you do to make games harder. You play it on a more difficult mode. You don't have as many revives and those sort of things. There's level 5. And maybe you get a little bit stressed out when things are like that happen. For example, I'll tell you something that's different now. I only have 4 healing pots. And on my higher level characters, I have like 9 of them. And so that's a real big difference. Really, it's not. But it's psychologically, it's a bigger difference. And so those are the things that make the game a little more stressful, a little more caring about if you die or not, or if you fail, paying a little more attention. I'm going to try not to cough so much, but you can hear I got crap in my throat. There's probably like 3 days between when it's warm and it's comfortable than where you need AC. Sorry, gosh. Anyways, this is normally when I ask you to like, subscribe, unsubscribe, resubscribe, share, comment. And so I don't mind redoing a game in hardcore mode. I tried to run it on the Division. The Division 2 has a fundamental problem where it just disconnects you randomly for no reason. It's not your video drivers, it's not anything, just nothing that you can really do. It just happens. Now, it hasn't happened much, but I've stopped playing it quite a bit because it's really frustrating when that happens. But I had a hardcore character. I was up in, I'd hit level 30, but in the Division, you go up in these tiers. So I was like in tier 1, and I just disconnected and died. So I'm a Necro. I have a Necro on my main account. Same account, but on my main, it's level 50. My main's a Druid, but I think Druid's way too squishy. And some of the things on the Necromancer, I guess I could put some of those Necromancer armors on my druid to have, improved life kind of things. Maybe that's what I need to do. When you get higher level, I bet there's ways to do that to make your character more tanky. And one thing when you're running content, these little cellars and short dungeons are sometimes a little bit difficult because they spawn a bunch of people. And so you got to mitigate the damage and put out a lot of damage all at once. So that's sometimes a little bit hard. I'm mainly blood, so I make blood for extra healing, blood boils, and my core skill is an AoE self-heal. So a lot of self-healing, a lot of things that fortify. And so you're just always trying to build up, inherently safe. So I got a couple boss fights. This is from a side mission. His brother ended up being bad because this guy forced him to be bad. And so now we're beating that guy. Or we're going to try to. Hopefully I don't die, YouTube. Outlaw sharpshooter. We hardly knew ye. Oh. So that's kind of the thing in these games. What I'm looking for in a game is some challenging, not too challenging where you're beating your head against the floor or the wall, but also not too milquetoast that I'm just skating through all the content. There's got to be some type of value proposition where I am achieving something, whether it's I'm staying alive. And I think I've told you this before. I'm like most people, most human beings, I have a limited amount of focus. And so that's normally, I'd say, about 50 minutes an hour. I can go and stay focused. And what I've noticed, this was over an hour play. I think in the next boss, you're going to see that on this boss might be where I this is where, against Den Mother, I almost get smoked. One thing that's helped with this is on my main character, they're almost level 69 or level 70, but they're still fighting level 73, so I have to strafe and kite a lot. And so that just kind of gets you into this style of gameplay. But now you see one of the problems with Necromancer is this situation right here. I don't have any minions, but you saw my blood boil. You got a 20% chance to get one of those. So, and that's free healing, and I get a little extra damage on that. So you can see I have a couple over there. I'm going to run over there and get them. And when I kill these minions, I get some guys back. So. And you can kind of see this stuff on the floor. That's kind of a mechanic a raid has, but they never make it so oppressive that you can't get through here. It's a great balance of game design where it pushes you enough, yet at the same time, it's not so much that you have to call someone. You think you might have to call someone to go through the content, but you don't. And this is, I was doing another dungeon and I wanted you to get a look at this part. It's one of those cursed spires. And so those are pretty good. They spawn a bunch of stuff. In this one, I might get a little bit low. So that's one of the things I'm trying to focus on when I'm in gaming, which means I tend to play a lot of different games. There have been times I've settled into a game, and that's my one thing. It's usually if I have friends. And that's the variation that if I have friends that play that same game, that's usually the variation that keeps the game fresh because we try different things. Or we're trying to achieve something. But I was in a guild in World of Warcraft, and we were trying to do the Lich King. We're at Cindergrosa, whatever the stupid dragon's name. We just couldn't get past it, and then everything fell apart because we couldn't. We went there 2 weeks in a row and couldn't get past it. And it's funny, later on you go back and then there was a time you could solo that, and wow, they made it so that it wasn't so hard. So you go back on with your, and here I am back in that area. It's near the city where it has a different spawning, and I ended up coming in here. I started the quest, kind of the event, and I'm trying to do things, and then once I think another guy comes in, another player comes in. But you're just a little more careful in all this kind of stuff. I am searching out those bone arrow machines. That is a high priority target. Did a recent talk, I talked about the Division Heartlands. And I guess there's a Star Wars game, but I will probably play Star Wars The Old Republic when I go and talk about that. Didn't change this video too much if you're a person that's interested in the aesthetics of the video. I didn't change the video that much. Normally I zoom it in and then put the bar over to the right so you get a more zoomed in view, but I had a lot of cuts. That had been a lot of, I guess you can cut and paste the attributes, but maybe I'm lazy. All right, everyone, this is Ronin Kazi. Thank you again. Please help me get to 500. Thank you, everyone. Ronin Kazi out.